is there a way for artists to succeed in 2020, 2021 without Spotify?
What a wonderful and interesting question. My answer is going to be yes. I think that you can survive and eke out, you need to manage your expectations in that case, but there's always been alternative ways of doing things. And yes, Spotify is the absolute monster that, almost everybody is listening on, but there are plenty of people that, if you've got great enough music, they're going to be able and willing to find you in other places. So I wouldn't dismiss it if I didn't have to, but I do think that yes, it is possible.
I hear every once in a while somebody saying, "Oh, well, that's a SoundCloud artist, or that's a Bandcamp artist, or one of these other platforms," and they use it in the same way that back in the day we would have been like, "Oh, that's an Epitaph artist," or that's a Moon Ska artist. It's you just never know. So the platforms almost become like the labels, but they also are often associated with genres as well. So is that something to take into consideration?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, Spotify, if you and I recorded a song right now and put it up on Spotify, I mean, great, but how are people being, funneled there? The beauty about platforms, just like you said, SoundCloud or Bandcamp, is they do sort of have their own communities or specific genres and or communities. That's where people are able to get a start. And so, eventually they build a fan base there. And then as more and more people, we're talking about spreading, word of mouth or spreading virally or any of those things, you want to be on as many platforms as you can, because by the time I hear it, Spotify is at this moment my go-to place for listening to things. That said, I'm not as intrigued about discovering bands on SoundCloud or Bandcamp, but there are tons and tons of listeners that is, there's always, those communities where people want to be able to say they discovered an artist first. It used to be, oh, I saw them at this club, right? Or yeah, I heard their demo, or yeah, they were on that label before they got signed to a major. I think your point's a great one, that those are the places where certain people they're proud to say that they found a band when they were on those smaller platforms.
Yeah. I remember like the rap group, Rap Collective that Frank Ocean and all those guys came from. It was all of our stuff is free MP3s on our website. Go get it. I remember going in and downloading the crap out of all of it just because there was so much buzz about them and their live performances. So I sought it out in a specific place, and but you don't hear as much about that. And of course, like, who's listening to MP3s anymore? It's tough to listen to that stuff that way. But that there's no reason in the world that can't be the same with like a Apple Music exclusively, or just on YouTube, or just on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, wherever. Yeah.
Yeah, and things are just going to continue to evolve. Just as you're saying, I mean, there's always been a major technological, player or major standout within the existing technological, sort of sphere. And, now that MP3s aren't really what people are listening to, and it is all streaming, Spotify just happens to be that large, percentage, the biggest percentage of place where people are listening. But as you said, there's going to be plenty of other ways to cut through on smaller platforms, to build the noise where, you may have to go seek that out.
I guess the only thing I think about is how many times I hear of an artist trying to get going, or a struggling artist saying, "Oh, well, I'm not going to put my music on Spotify because it doesn't pay enough." And that doesn't seem like that should be, in my opinion, a consideration at all. Am I wrong?
I don't think that should be a consideration either. No, I think when you're building in particular, until you've got the leverage to take on whoever it is you're attempting to take on because you don't think that they are, paying enough, until you've got the leverage, sadly, I feel like, you gotta play the game.